sort of focus on who is out there. The big boost for Arsenal at the moment, and we will wait to see just how much of a part he takes in this training session. But Gabriel Jesus is going through his warm-ups with the team at the moment. The Brazilian forward hasn't featured so far this season. It's been left for Eddie Nketiah to lead the line. He did that against Crystal Palace on Monday night. But what a fillip it would be for Mikel Arteta if Jesus was ready to play either some part against Fulham at the weekend or be ready for a huge match against Manchester United the following week before Arsenal head into the international break. Jesus' return would be a big bonus for Arteta, so too as the early stages of Declan Rice as an Arsenal player. He had a big impact in that game against Crystal Palace on Monday night. And just speaking earlier to Ben White in an interview you'll be able to see in full on Soccer Saturday pre-match at the weekend, he talked about the impact that that Declan Rice has had off the pitch. He comes in, he's positive, he's always smiling, he's a keen trainer, huge professional, one of the first guys into training every day, but also obviously the impact that someone like him has on the pitch. They were looking at the end of last season about maybe the pieces of the jigsaw that were left for Arsenal. A top-class holding midfielder in Declan Rice was certainly one of them, and he has made a very, very promising start to his Arsenal career.
I just want to pick back up on that Tomiyasu red card. You told us already, of course, he's going to miss Saturday's game. Lots of talk about that off the back of the weekend. But I guess, how is it going to impact the defence, Rob?
Yeah, the good news is that Mikel Arteta has options in terms of how he sets up his defence for that game on Saturday. Alexander Zinchenko was back as a very late substitute at Selhurst Park. Mikel Arteta, because I think Arsenal were down to 10 men and they were trying to hold on to those 3 points at Crystal Palace, chucked on pretty much every defender he had available to him on the bench. Gabriel came on. Alexander Zinchenko, who'd not played since the start of May due to an injury, came on in the 89th minute. He is an option to come in at left back with Tomiyasu obviously suspended and Yuri Timber sadly picking up that injury very, very early on in his Arsenal career. But Thomas Partey is deputised at right back for the first couple of games of the season, with Ben White moving in-field to partner William Saliba. So there is the option to continue with Partey at right back. I suppose what Zinchenko gives Arsenal is what Partey has given them on the right-hand side. That option which has become so fashionable, particularly with a lot of the top teams these days, is one of those fullbacks stepping in and giving Arsenal the extra man in midfield. Zinchenko did that so well both with Manchester City and for so much of last season with Arsenal as well. It's what Partey has done from the opposite side. So I guess the two options would be to move Ben White back to right back. Gabriel could partner William Saliba, as he did for so much of last season at centre-half, and play Zinchenko as the left-back. There is the option of Kieran Tierney as well, although he's been heavily linked with a move away from Arsenal. But it could be that Partey continues at right-back and Ben White continues at centre-half. The good news for Arsenal is they are going into a London derby as well at the weekend against Fulham, and they had a wonderful record in games with other teams from the capital last season. 10 wins and 2 draws from their 12 matches in derbies, and they got the new campaign started well from that perspective on Monday night as well with that win at Selhurst Park. So can they conquer another team from across the capital, Fulham, on Saturday, and make it 3 wins from 3? Because the fixture list gets a little more difficult after that, Hayley. After Fulham, 4 of the next 6 fixtures include Manchester United, Chelsea, Tottenham and the champions Manchester City. So Arsenal will be asked a lot of questions either side of the international break. They would dearly love to go into that game with United at the Emirates, 3 wins from 3, having beaten Fulham at the weekend.